Hey girl, welcome to the Black Girl Voices podcast. I'm Shivaun,
And I'm Whitney.
and every week we get together to laugh, cry, shade, and share everything from pop culture to racism.
So grab your headphones and your oversized mug and come and join the conversation.
Right, we are your hosts that you've been listening to for 2 seasons now, Whitney and Shivaun, and yeah, happy Monday.
Yeah, salutations and greetings.
Right, happy Monday for y'all, but this is like midweek for us.
Yeah.
That's why
I
we're
was like,
out of it.
did you see the sheer confusion on my face? I was like, oh my God,
You were like, wait, Monday? And I was like,
what day is it?
you're listening to this on a Monday. You're listening to this on a Monday. How are you, my dear?
Overwhelmed and exhausted. I can't wait till this election is over. Somebody help me. I'm mildly cold. My kid got me sick. But I just ran down the list. I've been waiting for someone to ask me how I've been doing.
Right, when you ask somebody that you don't really know how they're doing and you just want them to say fine, and then they're like, and you're
my back hurts. I'm so sad. My pet parakeet died. I'm like, oh, I'm sad for you.
Oh my God, I did that one time in Target.
Oh no.
And a lady, like, she was in front of me, so you kind of like make small talk, and I was like, oh, how are you? And she was like, me and my son are estranged, and I haven't
Oh my God. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
No. Okay, so weirdly enough, I have always had, I don't know if it's a nervous tick or what it is, but like when people tell me like really traumatic things, like strangers, I don't know, like okay, for instance, one time somebody told me their cat died.
Yeah.
I started to laugh. And here's the thing. I don't it's not funny. I don't
it's not
find it funny. It's just this weird thing. I don't know if it's because I'm uncomfortable or like it's awkward. I don't know what it is. But yeah. So
no, I'm with you. Like, especially like if like we're not cool. Like you and I are cool. Right, so like I could just run it down like that, like I just did, and we'll be fine.
Absolutely.
But like if someone like starts diving in, like I can understand that nervousness. Like I really was just trying to be polite and acknowledge the fact that you were standing in front of me.
Pleasantries.
Maybe we need to ask a different question.
Right.
Maybe we just need to say like, hello.
Ma'am, this is the Wendy's.
Like do you want the fries in the bag or not? Like
right. In front of my salad. Okay. So
how are you though?
I'm good, but I have like forget the pleasantries because I have something I just have to get out.
You know what? Go ahead on. Go ahead on. I see it. It's encumbering you.
Let's
turn her loose.
So
turn her loose.
This is twofold. Okay, so like we'll talk about the like more serious side of this later. But Glorilla's album just came out. Okay. And I listened to it.
I'm not laughing at the Glorilla of it all. I'm not laughing because I admire this young woman so much. It's your faces. Okay. That's what's making me laugh. Because Glorilla, shout out to you. We adore you.
I can hear
I'm not laughing at you.
I can hear you saying, Shivaun. I can hear it. Okay.
I'm looking at your face.
But her album came out, and first, shout out to her. She's been doing her thing, like hit after hit after hit. What I really love about her, she's like just unapologetically her. And like,
that's what you want.
Showing up authentically in a world that tells us like we can't be, we can't like lean into our culture, right?
Right.
So I love that. And there's 2 songs on there that I want to talk about. One of them I'll save it for later because it's like the more serious side. But she has a song with Lotto, and there's this line that I wish I could have listened to in like my early 20s. And she says, they call me Big Mama, but these niggas not worth my womb, right? And I was like, okay, love it. And it just made me think, I want us to stop giving these men who have never drank more than a bottle of water and don't wash in between their ass cheeks because they think it's gay. Stop letting them shoot our clubs up.
I'm sorry.
And
I'm with you.
Enjoy it, but protectively, because your womb is sacred and precious, and like they don't deserve it, right?
And you don't want to, you don't want
or bacterial
infection.
vaginosis,
Yeah,
that
you don't want an infection. Like, make sure they're washing, guys. Like, that's an important thing. Like, a washcloth is, listen, God did his big one with the washcloth. Like, it is so, especially get a white one.
Okay.
Get yourself a white washcloth.
I was watching, yes. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, if you're thinking about having sex with a man, bring a white washcloth to his
white
house.
Washcloth, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And ask him to get in the shower, wash with us, and bring it back to you.
No, I don't want to see it.
No. And then
I don't want to see it.
Back to you, and it doesn't, then that's how you know you need to go ahead and leave. Okay? A white washcloth, I will say, will humble anybody, to be honest.
Anybody.
But if you bring it back and it's more than just the normal humble, okay? It's time for you to leave. I can't believe we're talking about bacterial vaginosis at 9:30 in the morning, but it's been on my mind, and you know when you get stuck on something, and it's just like, I just think we need to start bringing white rags to men's houses.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Just like, hey, before you slide up on in here, I need to see.
There's a couple questions I have for you.
Cleanliness is a good thing. Like,
do you believe that washing your ass is gay? That's number one. That's
so weird. Like,
yeah, it's a thing. I saw it on social media. Well, first it was like a thing on Twitter.
That had to have been.
And then I saw it on TikTok.
Oh no.
And I was very surprised to see that it was also some of our men. So toxic masculinity and homophobia runs rampant in our community. So, like, not surprised.
Get clean, y'all. It's cleanliness.
Please wash your asshole.
Wash.
Please
it's dirty down there.
Nothing away from this. I want you to play this on loud for a man near you. Please wash your asshole.
Please wash. Please.
So, yeah.
Yes, we are in alignment. We are in agreement. We are on one accord because...
Okay, but the more serious part of that, okay?
Okay.
She put out a song with Kirk Franklin in Maverick City. Mm-hmm. I listened to the song because I was seeing on TikTok, it was all this controversy. So I want to know what was going on. Like, is she cussing in the song? Like, what is it? Like, what is she doing? She talking about, popping pussy in a God song. What is it? I want to know why the Saints are mad.
Right.
Listen to it.
Why they always mad.
Right. Listen to it. Whitney, it was so inspirational and so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, it was, I really enjoyed it. Like, put it on my playlist immediately. But it just immediately for me, and I think I put something on TikTok, but it just immediately for me was a reminder that people have this preconceived notion about who they think God is allowed to use as a vessel.
That's it.
You don't know what God told Glorilla or Kirk or whoever decided, hey, let's collab. And two, why aren't you just happy that more people who don't listen to God's word are now being covered under the anointing of praise and worship?
You're asking the questions.
You're like saying I'm always asking the questions, but y'all don't be having the answers.
They never will.
And I just
why would they?
To know, this is why Christianity, right? Like Christians. Let me not say Christianity. Christians have become so toxic for people because it's like I have to walk this path, right? So that I'm in this example for other people, but you want only perfect people to be walking the path. And God doesn't use perfect vessels because you're not perfect. So therefore, He can't use perfect vessel because ain't no perfect vessels down here.
Say it again. Say it again for people.
What I'm so confused that you would have this idea of like that you need to be prim and polished when you should just be excited.
Because why not? Why not be excited? This is the thing. Okay, and can I come at this from a minister's wife?
Please.
Era? Cracks knuckles. Everything ain't for everybody. And I think that part of the wondrousness about God is how expansive His love is. We're not going to turn this into another gospel episode, I promise y'all. But I think that because we have before. have and did.
That last episode we recorded, God be working up in these rooms.
Came in and sat down with us.
Because I had to be like, all right, Jesus,
healing.
Sorry, dang, I don't know what I did.
There was healing and redemption and all kinds of. Listen, I had a good cry later. Good cry, child. But I think that as unfortunately Christians have this tendency to put God in a box, and God will blow out your box and everything else that's going on. And every time, and I'm like, y'all need to open up the doors. Like on a rap album of a very popular rapper, there is a praise and worship song. That was like, I saw a tweet of Doechii in the park singing Kirk Franklin Rain on Me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I love that song. That song is magical, by the way.
There's healing in them words.
Ooh. And that soprano rain.
Yeah. It's a bop. Yeah. Shout out to the altos coming in with the consistent tenor. Rain. Yes, we're here for it.
That's impressive though. That's impressive. To be
very impressive. I'm like, your voice go where? Okay. But like, we need to relinquish the reins of who is allowed to worship God and who is not, because that is not up to us. And I think that part. And I think that part of the uselessness, because this has been my gripe about Christians specifically living in this time period, is our sheer uselessness. We are useless. Like, how many natural disasters have happened, and who should have been the first folks on the horn, like gathering up water, gathering up supplies, opening up churches as places of shelter, getting food lines ready. Like how many opportunities have we missed because we're too busy being the frozen chosen and not actively being the people of God that he's called us to be. We're called out to serve. Right. Our first job is to serve. And I think that we keep forgetting. We say that, Christ said, go ye therefore. And we keep saying, come on in here and like, let us critique your skirt length or the fact that you're wearing a hat or that your breath may smell like alcohol. Here's the thing.
The problem is so it's like the club, right? Like you can get in, but you don't get, only some of y'all get the bands. Only some of y'all get the bands. You can come in here, but stand over in the corner, stay uncomfortable. Because God said that I got to let you hear his word. So come on in, but I need you to stand over in the corner. We're going to be over here with the bands on in the VIP section with the bottles.
Terrible. It's disgusting. People like to think of church as a social club, and really church is a hospital. Church is where people need to, like, think about it that way. Like, if someone's bleeding from their, like, abdomen, we're not going to be like, oh, well, you didn't fill out this paperwork right. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. Seriously. This person needs help. I'm glad that they're in the building. And I call it all the time, like, y'all, we got to start being useful for the kingdom. Like, there should be I get this comment a lot, and I used to be offended by it, and then my husband helped me, like, correct it. People were like, I had no idea you were a Christian. And I was like, why is that? And they were like, oh, because, like, you actually, like, do stuff. And, like, I was like, wait. It's
funny, though, because I understand what they're saying, though.
Now? Because I was like, well, what do they mean by that? And why are they talking about my people? And I don't like that. And my husband, who was a minister, sat me down. He's like, Whitney, we as Christians, because we have to lump ourselves, unfortunately, into that group, have been so useless and unhelpful. Like the homophobia, the ableism, the shame culture, the rape culture that is too prevalent up in the church. Because we got to call a thing a thing. You got to say the name of a thing if you want to cast it out.
Y'all don't turn it off.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Because here's the thing, the people who need to hear it will hear it. And just like with Glorilla's song and just like with Doechii has a well-known record right now where it's literally put the motherfucking money in my motherfucking hands. Like that's the main line. And I'm sitting there just bopping to it. Bopping. Yeah, absolutely. Washing my dishes with my headphones on.
Absolutely.
Toddler running around in the background. But yeah, like, we don't have a right to say who can and who cannot worship God. We don't have a right to say who has a relationship with God and who doesn't. The only thing that really shows that you have a relationship with God or not is your what? Fruit.
Yes.
What is the fruit of the Spirit? Gentleness, kindness.
How you treat people.
How you treat people.
And some of y'all's fruit is spoiled with a T.
Rotten. Or it's not there at all.
It's not there. Yeah.
You don't have no fruit. You know what you have? You have a Jesus sticker and a bad attitude.
Yep.
That's all you got. You got that ichthus fish joy on your car, and you got a nasty attitude. You will sit and try to spit and sing in tongues, and you will lie and cuss people out in English, and I don't understand what the problem is with that.
Jesus, so, that's because they're not speaking. That's because some of y'all ain't speaking tongues. Some of y'all are speaking parcel. What's that thing from Harry Potter? Parcel tongue. Parcel tongue. Some of y'all.
I gotta close the laptop. That's the end of the podcast. Good night, everybody. Not a Harry Potter reference.
Holy Ghost tongue. Y'all are speaking parcel tongue.
She said
because y'all are rotten and your attitude's terrible, and you don't want to see anybody else prevail, and you don't want to see anybody else say you want to be in heaven by yourself, just you and Jesus. And that's not how it works, babe.
Y'all gonna be so shocked at the people who get to cut in line. Come Jesus. Glory. Come glory. Because, like, you don't know who her music is reaching, who her music is affecting.
And how she up there singing, I hope when you get to heaven, you're listening to a whole bunch
That'd be the first song
Tupac is singing praise and worship to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're gonna have a good old time up in heaven, okay?
I hope Michael Jackson is moonwalking.
Listen, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. All kinds of stuff. Y'all are so quick to demonize stuff, not realizing you the demon that we have to worry about.
Jesus.
I'm not joking. Y'all are nasty. The best thing that you have about yourself is that you're a bench warmer in a church, as opposed to being an actual conduit of Christ's love to somebody. I don't have to throw a scripture at you to show Christ's love to you. I can make you a sandwich. I can help you learn how to vote. I can help translate if you're having trouble because you're having trouble with your, English as a second language and things like that. I can make a box for you, or I can get some water to you, or I can just be love of God to you. I don't have to say any scripture to you.
Mm-hmm. I can say, hey, how are you doing? Thank you for being here. And that could have been the thing that see, that's the thing. Y'all think that you got to speak in tongues and lay hands on people to save them.
Hello.
When really, if you would have walked up to that person instead of giving them the stink face and said, hey, how are you doing? I'm glad to see you today. That could have been the thing that could have kept them from hanging themselves in the closet when they got home, because they just needed a bit of kindness because they're going through hell and turmoil in their own mind. Sometimes our faith looks got to come down from the sky and touch them themselves when you're supposed to be the church.
Sitting right there. Right. You're sitting right there. Sometimes love of God looks like, hey, how can I help you? Did you eat today? Mm-hmm. What can I do? What do you need? I don't actually have that amount of money, but I have some.
Right.
What can I do for you?
Or can I help you figure out a plan so that we can figure this out?
Right. It'll be a whole bunch of judgmental ass people judging a single mom coming into church with her arms full with an infant and a toddler. One is crying, one's carrying on. Mm-hmm. And none of y'all have stood up and said, hey, how can I help you?
Well, she came to church.
She came where she thought she would get some help. How about you, sister?
Grab a kid.
Get your pencil skirt ass up.
Pencil skirts for me? No, it really be the pencil skirts for me.
It'd be the pencil skirts.
Meanest people.
With that belt.
Yes.
With that big belt
and a black blazer.
Big belt and a bad attitude. Get up and ask her.
Bad attitude.
Ask her if she needs some help. Hey, I don't know these kids, but I'll sit with you. My kid I always pack extra stuff in our backpack.
Yeah. Do you need some snacks or something?
I always pack extra stuff. I always have extra crayons. I always have extra snacks. And this is not me bragging on me, but I know that there's going to be somebody in there who might need it. Just have it in the backpack. Think ahead. Think with your heart. Think what Christ would do.
You're listening to this and you're not Christian, cool. This is also just basic humanity, y'all. This is
yeah. How about that?
profound or like this isn't even it's all like if you're a believer it's all biblical, right? But like
it's all biblical.
It doesn't even have to be biblical. This is just you being a good person.
Listen to the practicality of all the things.
Yes,
it's just practical.
Even the commandments, right? Like the commandments people have made to be this like big huge
spooky
thing, right? And
real
yeah,
spooky.
it's great, but it's basic. It's a basic guideline on how to be a decent human.
That's it.
No, seriously. Like,
that's it. That's all it is.
Don't be mean. Respect people. You know, it's a basic guideline.
And y'all are still messing shit up. It's basic, basement, bare minimum ass stuff. Nobody asks you to die on the cross for anybody. They're asking you, hey, do you have any extra goldfish for this toddler who might be hungry? Like, can you help carry the stroller into the cry room so this lady can sit down? Like, it's basic stuff. Hold the damn door.
I remember going into church when we were in Michigan and I was breastfeeding Clifton. This is even another thing. Like, it's just not having to deal with the judgment, right? So, like, I'm sitting in the church and he starts to scream. Ooh. And my immediate reaction is just pop a boob in his mouth.
Yeah, pop a boob in his mouth.
You know, I'm still, like, moderately covered, right? Like, I didn't like having that whole big coverage.
It's hot in there.
Too hot. He was a sweater. So, you know, I always did the double shirt method where a tank top underneath.
Yeah.
And then I'd place my shirt just on top of the boob. So you really can't see anything except for a baby's head.
Right.
And I remember I was so nervous to do this. I'm sitting in church. My baby's crying. And I'm like, because I didn't want to get up because I didn't want to go by myself. Right.
Yeah. Where are you going to go? The bathroom?
Right. So I didn't want to go by myself. So I did it. And this is how I knew it was our church home. No one said a word. No one even looked my way. And then afterwards, I had normal conversations with people. Like, just treating me like a human, just not judging me, not having judgmental stares. And so, that alone was enough.
Ooh, I got chills.
It was so simple. It was feeling judged. They didn't even do anything. They didn't, you know, it wasn't this big profound thing.
Right.
Like, they didn't come over with and shield me. Like, it was
No.
No
judgment. It was basic ass humanity.
Yes.
And that's all the world.
Relieved. Like, I remember exhaling while feeding him. Like,
because he's got to eat.
Yeah.
And he's a baby.
Into the sermon. And we're like pretty close up to the stage. I wasn't worried about, like, you know what I mean? Like, the pastor's preaching. He's not throwing shade. Like, some of y'all's pastor stands up on there and they're like, yeah, some of y'all come to church looking, you know, on the stage and those kind of churches.
That's not helpful.
Just nobody paid me any attention.
It was normal to feed your baby.
And I'm like, wow.
That's it.
Yeah. So anyway, y'all, don't be...
Listen to Glorilla.
Yeah, listen to Glorilla's song. Shout out to Glorilla. Glorilla, I love to have you on the podcast, sis.
I mean, listen, whenever you want, sis.
I just want to talk. I just want to hear you talk for a little bit.
Yeah.
Accent.
Just like, go ahead.
I am here for it. So yeah, that's that. Another thing we have to address. I'm so tired of these damn Beyonce conspiracies. I'm ready to punch everybody. And this is not, like, I think I've said this time and time again, and I think you guys know by now, I am not a stan of anybody. Anybody can do wrong. Anybody can have their downfall, and if they do, cool. Peace out. I am so tired of y'all's conspiracies and the stupid shit y'all say. Like, do you hear yourselves?
Please.
Do you hear yourselves?
No, they don't. Now, y'all know y'all going to jail. Y'all gonna get sued.
Right.
Some of y'all are gonna get sued.
Cease and desist to Piers Morgan. Because he had that lady, you know that lady. What's her name? She always
Jaguar Wright, who is not mentally well.
She's not.
She's not mentally well.
Here is my thing, okay? So I'm gonna tie this in real quick. Y'all don't listen to black women.
Nope. When it counts. Y'all listen when it counts.
It fits your agenda. Like, the only reason y'all listen to Candace Owens is because she's saying the shit you want to hear.
Well.
But if Candace Owens was out here saying, stop killing black people and we should treat everybody fairly and equally, y'all wouldn't be listening to Candace.
Say it.
I am. The cease and desist. And then he had to issue an apology. That's what I love.
Oh, because they were coming. Because here's the thing. It's one thing to say that ain't that lady's hair.
Right.
She's not bothered by that. She don't give a shit.
No, because she's been talking for years at this point.
She does not care about y'all.
Right.
Saying that they are directly raping, assaulting, and kidnapping people, those are extraordinarily serious offenses. And I don't care what you personally believe, you can't go around saying those things without repercussions and consequences. Jaguar Wright, first of all, is not well. Second of all, is about to be broke. Because the way that team over there at Parkwood, I wouldn't let none of those words ever fall out of my mouth without concrete evidence that I could prove. And like Piers Morgan, we all knew that Piers Morgan was a joke because he literally walked off a stage because a black man confronted him about his treatment about Meghan Markle. And he's like, no, I can't do this. I won't do this. Meanwhile, you've been nothing but a nasty, snarling bitch to Meghan Markle because she turned your raising ass down because A, you're married, and B, she wasn't interested in your raising ass. She had a whole ass prince over here. And you ain't have your emotions have not recovered, despite the fact that you are a nasty, pervy, little crusty old man. So, of course you apologize, but you were a joke and a clown to begin with. Third of all, y'all have got to stop trying to capitalize off of black illness. That woman has not been well for years.
Right. No, seriously.
Years. And y'all want to capitalize off of the moment. Y'all are trying, ooh, Puffy, ooh, there could be more conspiracies. Ooh, this, ooh, that. Right. You just oohed your way into a lawsuit. I hope that they just proceed with it. I hope they do.
My thing is, so y'all will sit down and y'all give this woman airtime and you'll listen to her. Has anyone ever said, hey, how is it that you're in every single room? No, honestly, you're in every bed.
You're much like right.
Every room, every party.
Everyone.
But you are not complicit in the activity.
Explain.
Because you said you've known forever that Diddy's been having freak offs and this person.
Then why didn't you tell nobody?
Forget telling people because, okay, they said they were afraid. Okay, cool.
Nah, fuck it.
They were afraid that he was
You knew.
My thing, though, is, so why did you keep going to every party?
All of them?
All of them? Girl,
all of them?
You was at all the parties? And
every single one?
You ain't. I'm just saying, where there's smoke, there gotta be a little bit of fire. I'm just saying.
If you didn't like what you did in your participation of that, ma'am, that's between you and Diddy.
I'm just like, how do we keep getting in it?
Why do we keep getting in it? Leave us alone. We have an election.
Also, I feel like it's disrespectful to the victims at this point. Like more than anything. If nothing else, forget Beyonce doing Piers Morgan. Cool. Forget Jaguar Wright and her mentally unstable ass. What about the victims? Like, we're making by doing all this guessing work and playing detective and shit, we're making a mockery of the actual victims who have lived this and who were brave enough to come forward.
Some of whom were minors.
One of them was 9 years old, the attorney said.
Yeah.
9. And y'all still want to make this about, we're trying to bring the black man down, throw his ass under the jail.
I'm just saying.
Anyway, jumping right on. I have so many topics today.
We're having a good time. It's like rapid fire.
It is rapid fire. Honestly, this is just a rapid fire episode of just things that I have. Well, because
just bullshit we're looking at.
Right. I saw this morning and I wanted to talk about it because I was thinking about, as we get closer to the election, I think a lot about my own, what I want to do, right? And I know that without a doubt, I'm going to vote for Kamala. I also know that, there's still feelings there. There's still very conflicted feelings about how about her decision to continue supporting Israel, right? Like I don't agree with it, right? So I was thinking a lot about how Black people, even when we're at jeopardy of losing our own rights, our own safety, our own well-being, will still think about how we can put other people first. So much so that we'll let it, one, either eat away at us, the guilt, or two, we won't even make that decision for ourselves because, you know, we feel so guilty, and also because we want to liberate other communities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about this because there's so much moral superiority going around on Instagram, especially right now. There's so many people pointing the finger and so much like,
I'm so much better than you because
yes. And I made a post today that basically was like, what did it say? It was like, some of you need to remember that the devices that you're using to assert your moral superiority with strangers online are materials that people in Congo are being murdered for, right? Like basically none of our hands are clean.
Wait, where'd you post that? Hold on.
I posted on Instagram. And basically that none of our hands are clean. And that's not to say that like, oh, okay, like just continue doing harm just because none of our hands are clean. It's just to say that while you sit there and you point your finger and you look down at others, you're doing so from the same phone that others are being like killed for. You're not innocent, right?
Nope.
And there's nuance that's lacking in these conversations. And so Dr. Cooper posted something today that I wanted to read. And if you don't know who Dr. Cooper is, if you're listening, please go. She's brilliant.
Get to know her.
She is a Black feminist. She's a professor. She's obviously a doctor in, I think, is it gender and race studies? Okay, she's got her PhD.
She's a bad bitch.
She is a bad bitch. She the one. I would never go toe to toe with her.
Never.
Discussion. No. First of all,
absolutely not.
She's got all the accolades and all the academic.
She's right.
She's right. You got it.
Right. Whatever she says, she's right.
She's right. But more than anything, she wrote a book called Eloquent Rage, and that really is what ignited my feminist journey. And so I highly recommend it. I think we've read it before in a book club when Black Girl Voices first started on Instagram. But anyway, she wrote this today, so I want to just read this real quick. I collect a paycheck from an institution that has been deeply unfair to Palestinian students and won't divest. So I go out to support those students when they protest. But you know what I still do? I go to work. I live in a country that does deeply unjust shit all over the world. So I call shit out. I advocate. But I also vote because I still live here as a Black person. Voting is not a form of equivocation any more than going to work is. There is no moral purity here. All of us are trying our best to stand up against the moral atrocity of this moment in a system with limited options. But I'm not arrogant. We aren't the first folks to have to fight genocide in a racist system. My grandfather and great uncle fought against genocide in a segregated military in World War II. And my granddad had the PTSD to show for it for the rest of his life. So like you, I believe Palestine deserves to be free and will be free. And also believe we need livable conditions here in order to advocate for livable conditions elsewhere. And unlike some of your faves, I don't have a place abroad to escape to. And unlike some young Black folks who grew up middle class and have survivor's guilt about it and don't believe things for Black folks can't get worse here because they haven't seen it, I am a student of history and I know things can get worse everywhere. A Black woman at the top of the ticket does not mean the Black freedom struggle is over here, or that we can give away the ground we have gained in our social movements, courts, prisons, voting, reproductive access to education, etc. If you understand these movements, CRM, BP, BLM, you know they always understood empires are evil, always had transnational solidarity, and always still fought for their own people here. I shaded the class position of some of the young Black folks advocating because it feels clear to me that they are far removed from Black suffering here, which is why they have more empathy for folks everywhere else, and why they can so cavalierly dismiss the very present threat for more harm to Black folks here, or nonchalantly say we can survive it, or even suggest we owe it as penance for our privilege. What a poor understanding of history and the present. If you made it here and you feel that I don't care about Palestine, I'm going to invite you to read until you understand, and then scroll until you understand. Because my positions have been clear this whole time. The posts are all over my feed. And nah, I ain't going back and forth with you in the comments. Peace.
I know that's right.
Child.
Listen.
The literal
served you guys a dinner
that
was scrumptious
in my body when I read this. Because she collected me even in a second when she said the Black folks that are suffering from survivor's guilt, which is why they feel like they would consider how bad things are elsewhere instead of the fact that it can get bad for their Black asses
right here.
When I say she collected me, she collected a lot of folks in that post, but when she collected me in that it was that little piece, I'm like, damn, that's what I'm wrestling with. Survivor's guilt. Wow. And so I've been the internet's been a very toxic place for like the last year. Because before we were talking election, we were dealing with, people who were just outwardly cruel and, having our posts
hateful,
having our platforms shadow banned and people losing jobs and things like that. So the internet has been particularly cruel in the last year, but in the last, I'd say like 3 months, the people, I think what makes it more cruel is the people who were just fighting alongside us quickly turned their backs against us when it was time to start considering our safety, our interest, our families. Suddenly we went from
allies to enemies.
And some of our quote unquote allies turned into enemies, and to the point where it makes me question the validity and the genuineness of allies in general.
Yeah, I'm going to say something really hard, and this is particularly for our white audience.
Woo.
The ones who want, and this is going to get real niche, specifically for the ones who will look at us and call us baby killers and genocidal maniacs because we are voting to ensure that we can keep helping people.
Right.
Y'all didn't do the work. And this is how I know y'all didn't do the work. You're looking at marginalized people who have never been safe here. Never. We have epigenetic trauma so deep, it's in our DNA. It's in our genetic makeup. That's how deep the trauma has gotten in. And we're not talking about people just hurting our feelings. We're talking about people who've hurt our bodies. We're talking about the traumatic nature of how African Americans even became African Americans. And you're looking at those people who have never been safe.
Right.
And telling them that they should offer themselves up as a sacrificial lamb for a purity that you yourself can't live up to. You can't live up to it. And all you have is theory of something that you read somewhere. You don't have that same trauma. You've never felt the level of unsafety in your own body. I heard another creator say that Black people operate off of vibes. And if we we can walk into a space, first of all, we can walk into a space and immediately determine if we're supposed to be there or not.
Absolutely. Or if I can walk into a space and determine if I'm going to eat there. Let alone spend time there. I will walk into a space and I'm not talking cleanliness, nothing. I'm talking about just looking around. I don't know. I'm not feeling it and walk out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we are at vibes people because you have to think about how we survived. Mm-hmm. Like there will be places that will say, oh, states' rights. And we know what states' rights mean because for a while there, our freedom, I won't say our liberation because we're not liberated yet, our freedom, our ability to operate in our own bodies as human beings was considered something that would be left up to the states' rights.
Right.
Little things like that, where it's not this aversely like big statement of this is racist, but little stuff like that where we're like, we picked up what you're putting down. It's like the dog whistles, but like if the dog whistles were on another plane. We hear that in our own body, in our own flesh. We know that. And so you sitting there in your privilege on your device, like you said, that was made by that was made using materials that capitalize off a Congolese death.
Yeah.
And telling people who have never lived in safety that they should offer themselves up as a sacrificial lamb shows that A, you've never done the work, B, you have no idea what you're talking about, and C, you have zero concern about marginalized communities. Y'all want to pretend to be Katniss Everdeen so bad in this made up revolution that
which, as we said in Katniss Everdeen, even in Katniss Everdeen, the little black girl ended up being the sacrificial lamb for her to win these Hunger Games. So once again, it's marginal. It's a marginalized person, a marginalized community who is making a sacrifice for you to get up on the pedestal and wave your fist and say, "I did it."
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I don't want my community to be that. And it's so funny that you bring this up because this is something that's currently going on Twitter. Have you heard of this Madeline Pendleton girl?
Briefly, but break it down. Is this basically the liberal leftist white woman who basically said something that's being used as fuel to but go more into detail with that.
The long and the short, for the folks who are not chronically online and exist outside, you're doing very good, by the way. Good job. Keep that up. I'm really proud. No, I mean that in all sincerity. Please don't occupy the spaces of the online spaces that we do. Like we're only there because we work there. Please exist outside. Get vitamin D. Basically, Madeline Pendleton made a video where she uses multiple pronouns. So if you hear me bounce from she and they, that's what's going on.
So she they.
Yeah, well, she said any pronouns.
Okay.
So I want to be respectful while I'm about to be disrespectful. So they made a video that said that essentially that the Democratic Party was paying people to promote content, right? Turns out it wasn't the Democratic Party that had reached out to her to offer her money. It was a organization that has Democratic connections, but it was not the Democratic Party. And this was proven by a black woman named Elizabeth Houston. Shout out to Booker Squared. I love you, girl. So Elizabeth made this video debunking this and saying this is not happening. This is not something that happened, right? Madeline comes back and basically directs a lot of ire and hatred towards Elizabeth from her bigger following.
Of course.
To which people had a lot of questions and concerns. They're like, why can't you just admit you were wrong? Like, why can't you just say, oh, it wasn't the Democrats. Like, this wasn't, like, I was wrong.
It was mistaken, even.
How easy would that be? Just to say, but y'all have too much ego and not enough care. Mm-hmm. And you claim to be this great big leftist, and you are literally directing harm to Black people. And in the conversation that Elizabeth was having with Madeline, it came up that Madeline said, well, I just hate all Democrats. Here's where the problem lies. There's nothing wrong with hating Democratic policy. Right. There's nothing wrong with that. You are allowed to hate any policy you want.
Okay, yes.
Directing ire to an entire group of people where there is a subset of people who are literally and have been continually voting to keep themselves safe in the larger subset is crazy and is racist. Because you're looking at a Black woman telling a Black woman, well, I hate you because you believe this.
Right.
And you think because you read something somewhere, and then she got on Angela Davis, and this is where I wanted to just pull over and park.
Real quick interjection with the Angela Davis.
Please.
I saw that there are people online, because Angela Davis said that, in short, now I'm very much paraphrasing. Basically, she agreed that we needed to vote for the Democratic Party. That was our best chance at a free Palestine, our best chance at survive, all of those things.
That's common sense, yes.
And so she said that. Mm-hmm. And when they were like, basically, she didn't know what the hell she was talking about.
And she wasn't a Black Panther for real.
Are we talking about the whole, like, it was
Angela Davis?
Are we talking about the Angela Davis who has committed her life work? You've been doing this for 60 seconds and she's been doing this for 60 years. Are we talking about that Angela Davis, or is there a new Angela Davis on the scene? It's got to be somebody else. It cannot be Big Afro. Angela Davis. It can't be Miss Davis, the one whose books y'all were just reading and saying.
Cannot be. I want to give y'all more credit than like y'all definitely deserve. Can't be. Mm-mm. It was. And here is how
my skin was on fire.
Here is how whiteness will get your asses in trouble. Common sense says we have a two-party system right now. Nobody likes it. We all have big issues with it. Absolutely. We have a two-party system. Donald Trump will set Gaza ablaze and turn it into a resort. And then set Philly and Detroit and Atlanta and a bunch of other places ablaze and turn them into resorts. He does not care. He does not care.
What got me was, let's use a little bit of common sense, okay?
Let's use common sense, people.
Put Donald Trump and what he's actually said out of it.
Out of his mouth.
The fact that not Netanyahu, whatever the hell that man's name is, that the devil himself.
I almost choked. That was not cool.
How about the fact that he himself wants Trump in office? That doesn't scare y'all a little bit?
So does Vladimir Putin.
Okay, they're all taking money from the places they don't have no business taking money. Okay, why does he want Trump in office?
So does Putin.
Why?
Yeah, a bunch of dictators want him in there.
And this doesn't have to come from an expert in politics.
No.
This is just like, this is bare bones, common sense shit.
Yeah.
You don't start looking at that shit and being like, huh.
But no, just organize. I'm not going to vote because I'm morally superior. Here's the problem. Y'all's puritanical ways are going to get people killed. You are.
Yes, it is.
Because you're so cerebral and you're so in your thought. And y'all talk about, just organize, create community. Meanwhile, you're directing direct harm. You're directing harm to marginalized communities. So you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Like you yourself are not demonstrating the things that you are saying. You can't just be all in theory and not in practice. And you can't be mad at a marginalized community for saying, y'all ain't never keep us safe, so we gonna keep us safe.
Right.
Instead, use that as an opportunity. How can we keep you safe? How can we assist? How can we be better community with you? This is why these particular groups of people, not every white person, but these particular white people, this is why they keep failing at this. And so rather than apologize, Madeline has been going nuclear about this particular incident, to which you can't fuck with black people, especially black women, especially well-connected black women, and not think that we are not going to come rallying. Because
girl, we're coming for them for your meatballs kneecaps. So sorry.
We're coming for them little bangs. If you look at Madeline,
if you look a little curler in.
No. If you look at Madeline, you will see what I'm talking about. Them bangs is hold on, wait. I gotta pull up a picture.
I need a picture.
I gotta pull up a picture, and I need you.
Talking about like their little meatballs bangs, because they be putting that one little soft foam. Oh no, baby, you need to worry about that first.
I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to talk about people's looks, but them bangs are small. Like actually, like people were like mad at me, like, oh, let's not talk about people's appearances. I'm like, but the bangs are small. Like, what did I say that was wrong? What did I say that was wrong? You can't get a good roller up it. You remember how we used to have to roll our hair up?
Yeah.
Like the bangs for the 80s and the 90s? For picture day? You had a roller?
Like, force bangs into our heads. Like, we didn't really have...
Because we weren't going to cut them.
And
we weren't going to cut them.
Know how to make bangs, so they were like...
We just roll them up. Yeah, had that big curl.
And we just got a big... But she don't have that.
What were we doing?
Like a little mini clip. Like a little...
Okay. Little flip.
All right,
keep rolling. But anyway, and it's just like, it's stuff like that like proves the point of why Black people are choosing our own safety, because who else is gonna?
Seriously. We keep us safe, and we've been saying that for a long time. And I think there's more proof than ever, because I think what the issue is that allies aren't really committed to being allies for communities. They're committed to being allies for whatever community is the most viral at the moment.
You said it, not me, child. It's accurate. But you said it.
Twiddles fingers. So,
I mean,
and like in 2020, the block was hot with Black people.
The block was hot for Blacks.
Block was hot for Blacks. So, like, I'm rooting for you, girl, because, like, this is what's in right now. Yeah. And then in 2023, from October to really now, the block is hot for brown folks. And when I say this, y'all, I don't mean this like in a disrespectful way, right? Like, I would never deduce Black people's pain, especially what we so publicly witnessed in 2020, or Palestinian people's pain. When I say block is hot, I'm speaking specifically of the people who profit off of the viral movements online, right?
It's the profitability of our pain.
Profitability of our pain and our collective pain and our collective trauma.
That's it. That's it.
Right now, they see that the block is hot for Palestinian people. Never mind that some people have been screaming about Sudan and Congo. Right?
Hello?
Like,
and Tigray.
They can't. We can't walk and chew gum at the same time, right? One at a time. Okay. And so they are leaning into that. And when I say they, I mean the disingenuous, quote unquote, allies are leaning into that so hard that they're causing harm to the same people that they were marching in the streets for in 2020.
Hello, say it.
Like, did I go back to being a porch monkey now because we're not? Yeah. Oh, okay, I guess. Damn. Can we get, like, we're moon crickets again? Like,
shout out to the moon cricket.
I'm getting off.
I love how unserious.
But we're about to take this too far. I can feel. Yeah.
No. You're doing good. Because, like, we have to laugh to keep from screaming at the top of our lungs. Seriously. Because here's the thing that a lot of these leftists don't want to admit, that they are literally closing the gap between the far left and the far right. Like, it's not distances in miles. It is literally a circle. And what you've done by directing hate towards a marginalized community because they didn't agree with what you want to do, or they want to keep themselves safe. So how privileged is that? Meanwhile, they live in absolute privilege to look at a marginalized community and tell them that they should not prioritize their safety. Right. What they did by directing that hatred towards our community is literally close the gap. The only difference is the far right looks better because the far right is at least honest. They'll call us the N-word to our faces. You will call us it by your actions. By the direct harm you cause. I will say
that's something that Republicans have always ate with. They'd always be like, when they'd be like, Democrats are racist too, they just don't say it. They've always ate with that.
They're not wrong.
With that one little thing. Y'all ate with that one little thing.
Y'all not wrong. Y'all not wrong about that. And we don't deny it.
You a dirty porch monkey.
Listen.
Democrats will tell their group chat.
Wait, no, even better. Republicans will loudly vote against you being able. They'll loudly vote.
Oh yeah, they're like Trump and 2024. Baby.
They will redline the hell out of something. Yeah. Democrats will tell you how the things that you like are not in the bylaws.
Yes.
No.
They'll tell you. They'll be like, yeah, we hate Trump. Da, 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 da. We don't want to go back to Jim Crow. Da, da, da. And then they'll go in the voting booth quietly vote against you. Because didn't y'all do that? I mean, white women, y'all really not in a position to talk, because last time I checked, y'all just got done marching in
not checking the record.
Right. Yeah, hold on, somebody bring out the fact checker. Because
listen,
last time I checked,
55% of y'all
marched in the street in little pink pussy hats and then voted for the man who
55% of
wants
y'all
to control your pink pussy. So
55% of y'all did.
55.
And he's letting y'all die. Here's the thing that's crazy about that. Y'all are up and dying at almost the same, like, well, not almost the same. Let's just be real.
A lot.
You're dying.
People have died.
Y'all are up and dying. Not at the same as black, and definitely not as the same as like native. But y'all up and dying, and he's letting y'all up and die, and y'all are still like, but whiteness. No, girl.
Okay, baby. Okay.
If you don't grow a damn spine and save yourselves,
I'm out. Shout out to the Real Allies. Shout out to Angela Davis. Shout out to Dr. Brittany Cooper. Shout out to all of y'all that are real ones.
Yeah.
Happy Monday. We outie.
Bye.